Hello, g'day, how are you all? I hope you're doing really, really goodly.
Scan your flat-based card at Coles, Kmart,
Awesome.
and Liquorland to collect more
Sorry,
points you can turn into rewards.
I'm trying to interact and watch the chat this time, so I don't have to I just want to watch you so I can help you guys too at the same time. So I've got that going and it's not coming up for some reason. I'll just have to try it because I can see there's Turbro. G'day Jeff, how's it going? I'm going to try and refresh or something on my tablet to try and make it work, because it's not. I know, I'll change it to live chat. That's right. Oh, there it is. Live chat works. Ah, very good. All right. Yes, I can see some more. Hooter 420. Hello, Baker Perkins and Raymond Cow. Nice to see you today, Turbro. Good. So I can keep that going. Sweet. And then start with my little presentation here. And today we're going to be talking on, I'll just start to share the screen so I can still see the chat now. That's cool as. If I have to watch, it's going to be hard to watch two things at once. Entire screen. This one. So this is the stuff, this is all the slides here we're going to go through. So it's nanotechnology in agriculture special, because this was asked a few weeks ago about the nanotechnology, and it's fascinating. There's some real cool stuff. So I'm going to go through probably a few, maybe 5 or 10 minutes worth of that at the end, and that's going to, I'll try and summarize the whole course. It was a 3-month course, a 12-week course, and it's just some really cool stuff that's gone into it. It's the future, precision agriculture. And then I'm going to go through foliar feeds, precision feeding a little bit, and a little bit on crop logging, just tiny touch on them. That's it. All right, that's after I go through this stuff. So I can still see the chat. So stray growing, hello, and hello Critter. All right, so cannabis activism is about a plant. It's also about personal freedom, civil liberty, respecting the planet, promoting peace, and taking responsibility for your health. I just love this because it just really sums up how damn good the plant is and how much it should be. Well, I respect it a lot because it does a lot of benefits for me. Be a good person, but don't waste your time proving it. Yeah, I like this one. I thought I'd just grab it because it's just cool. Be a good person. Don't waste your time proving it. You got nothing to prove. Everybody else is trying to outdo each other these days, and etc., etc. Just try and be yourself. It's my motto, what I'm trying to do. Costa Rica will make its hemp license free for business and individuals. So that's amazing. So that's really cool, because I've just gone through a bit of legislation in Australia, and it's so hard to start things in Australia with all of their legislation they've got in place. That's why, what was it last week? 18% of Colombia's medical exports go to Australia, because our laws are so crap that, yeah, everybody else capitalizes first. So good on you, Costa Rica, making hemp licenses free so businesses and individuals can just go and capitalize and help the planet and themselves. All right, no, actually, I'm going to come back to that one. This is the foliar section. Global cannabis sales skyrocket to 57 billion in 2026, says Forbes magazine. So everyone else is capitalizing, but because of Australia's laws, they're not. So it's just such a shame. Anyway, I'm just here to tell you how it is. I can't really get change. This is pretty cool. This is one probably the government would be more so interested in. Cannabinoid-free cannabis. So they've gone and there's 5 schedules that they've put in. There's, well, type 1's THC, type 2 is the combination of THC, CBD, type 3 is CBD, type 4 is CBG, that's the new one, and then type 5 now is going to be this one, and that's the cannabinoid-free cannabis. So they're going to try and get all the other things in, like the phytochemicals involved that help, probably terpenes and all that sort of stuff, and just not have the cannabinoids. It's a new way that they're just trying to get rid of the THC factor for the government, because they were trying to go the synthetic route. Speaking of the synthetic route, And remember that just recently, Oregon and another state in the States over there in the US have banned synthetic cannabinoids because they've realised how crap they are, and the government did a poor job trying to implicate them, so they banned them. Oh, I should be looking at chat. Sorry, everyone's just saying g'day, and that's cool. Yeah, and I thought this is pretty interesting. So the Australian government, it was, mind you, look at the date, so it was 5 years ago, or no, 6 years ago now, but still, they was trialling synthetic cannabis. It's because they can't get their laws in order, so people can grow it here and reap the benefits, so now they want to pump us full of synthetics. Well, anyway, not pump us full, that's really wrong, I shouldn't have said that. I just disagree with this types of stuff because of the government. You know my stance. It's green, it should be, anyway, that's what happened. Some more on CBD and epilepsy. Epiolox is a pharmaceutical drug approved by US and Europe for the publication processes and mechanisms action through not the CBD receptors but through lesser known targets, TRPV1, GPR, they're the other receptors. This was known actually a while. I put this in because it's the CB1 and CB2 receptors. They're responsible for THC. So I don't know where they got this from. It just shows education is just so lacking everywhere. Yeah, because remember how I remember this one for the CBD? Total Real Pain version 1, and there's a version 2. So it's TRPV1, TRPV2 are the genes, the receptors that unlock the CBD. And I put this in, this is amazing. That's pretty bloody big, eh? Or he's got tiny, tiny hands. I like the tiny hands bit, but yeah, it's just, that's a gigantic leaf. Look, you can probably nearly see the cells. But yeah, that's a decent whack. Good on you, fella. Oh, and this is something that YouTube wanted me to go through. You see down the bottom there, there's a subscription thing. So I thought I'd put it in. I'm not very rich at all. I'm quite poor. So at least I can give something back here. So the support thing's only for $5. But the playlist, I've got heaps and heaps of my lectures are in playlists, and I don't make them private. I make them private because, well, I don't know, I just do. But I've unlocked quite a few. I've botany ones. I've got botany 2 and 3 that are private. There's quite a few things, genetics and genomics. But anyway, so that's an option. And there's another one, 20-minute call, I thought, to help someone out if you're ever stuck. You know, if you're going to a doctor and you need problems. And then, actually, I was two. And then the last one was the $3.99. This is, I wrote in it what it does. So $80 for my private playlists. $150 is for a call, like it might help you with maybe your legal things for your doctors or for your education purposes. And the $300 weekly call would be aimed for growers who are setting up legally or patients going to doctors and they regularly want my educated opinion. So that's something that I could offer and can get back. YouTube wanted me to mention it, so there you go. This is back into cannabis, entrepreneurships in cannabis that was brought up last week, I think, on the topic. And there's a few things here I found, which is snazzy ads. Look at this, few chefs, and there's heaps of chefs. A few here, actually. Yes. Oh, what? Welcome. Oh, Baker Perkins. Oh, well, I've never seen that before. Thank you. Look at that. The green thing on the screen. Good on you, Baker. Thanks for your help, mate. Shit. That's pretty cool. It's taking my breath away. I'm so poor. That'll really. Anyway, good on you, mate. Back to the jobs. So this is good for chefs, I thought. You can make a job, entrepreneurship out of this. So it's really starting off in Australia. It's new here, and it's a chance that you can do that. So this is something that's done in New York. So that's cool. You can capitalize on doing the cannabis thing here somehow, or wherever you're located. This is also nice. We might be able to do this soon with legalization in your legal countries. Might be able to do landscaping. Might be able to do pot plants, terrariums, which is pretty good, like that Cool Tank show that I like. And bonsais is another fun thing to get into, to also do with hardcore training. So this might be something to do also with jobs. Another cool job thing, this is an energy drink that someone has put out, and it's got the right stuff in it. And yeah, another liquid that they can have. And I like this one because it's you first look at it and go, what a shit photo. Then you look harder and you go, whoa, hang on, that's a rad photo. That's cannabis art. So yeah, I thought I'd put it in too. Another thing for you artistic type of folk people who are good with digital things, you can play around with stuff and improve images. Like this one's greatly improved from a massive negative to a, well, it's always going to be negative. But with the thing up the top, at least it makes it look nice. What's this? Oh, this was put in for a few weeks ago from American one. We were going back and forward with the algae and its O2 production, because I was using some Arthrospiroplatensis. I'm culturing some of that to make that to grow it, because it's a heavy nitrogen absorbing, immobilizing bacteria. So I want to put it in where the rhizosphere, where the roots are. So I'm playing around with that at the moment, and just saying about how it produces the oxygen, and I couldn't think about it. And this is the cycle for it. So algae is the same as the plants. So it takes in CO2 and it does release O2. So it will help in the rhizosphere down the bottom there. So you don't use clear pots, you use see-through pots. So it'll photosynthesize and grow the algae, which will in turn put the O2 out, which will help your soil microbes, because your microbes, they mostly input oxygen and respire CO2. So it's pretty cool. Oh, and this is a while ago I put in agriculture tractor being made to use hydrogen, and now they've got helicopters to do the same thing. So that's just bloody rad. It's just really cool for the environment. Good on yous. Keep up the good work. Now back to the foliar. Click, 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 click. So the methods of foliar. Oh, I look down the chat. Nothing's in the chat. No. You can methods of application. So this is leading into the foliar spray and nanotechnology. So you can apply it through the soil, dipping. This is through nanotechnology. You can do it through the soil, or dipping, seed coating, or through foliars. Some advantages of foliar: use the correct nutrient amount in dry weather. It's very useful because it's hard to get it into the substrate type thing. Anyway, when the widely spread foliage creates difficulty for soil applications, so it readily uptakes it quite fast. I've been playing around with some 50 ppm experiments, which has been going quite well. Disadvantages: marginal leaf burns and scorching. That's because everybody's always told, well, in the past, you look on the backs of the containers and they say use 10 times the amount. It's the opposite, I'm finding. And nanotechnology sort of taught me that. I've been playing around with little bits, and it's been reducing the amounts of the deficiencies. So if I see a nitrogen deficiency, I'll put in a very fine application of nitrogen, but you've got to do it in the form that it can uptake it. So for nitrogen, it'll be in NH3, so it'll be in NH4, which will be ammonium, or your NO3, which will be nitrate. So you have those two forms. So I do a foliar with that in it of 50 ppm, and I can see the difference. And then I thought, shit, it went magnesium. But all right, so I did magnesium. And I used Epsom salts, which has 10% magnesium in it. So I made up a mixture of that, and it worked too. So the marginal leaf burns is really only when it's too high. Only a small quantity of nutrients can be supplied at a time, and several applications are needed. Costly, maybe because it can be wastage through the wind. Some other advantages are it's less subjected to runoff, microbial immobilization, volatilization, going back through the to turning back into gas, and denitrification, where it gets broken down. So quick recovery from nitrogen deficiencies where soil is a constraint. Some disadvantages: washing out of the applied fertilizer is heavy leaching can happen after rainfall, and need frequent applications, which is labour intensive. So on the top left here, it refers to the spraying of fertilizers on foliage, which is leaves, on growing plants with low concentrations, 2 to 3%, even lower. Well, that's what I've just told you what my method was. In the chat, zeolite organic fertilizer, Foliar. Zeolite, very good. I can't remember what's in zeolite. That's I can't remember. But well done, Baker. High in calcium, magnesium. There you go. So if he's noticed that he's got a calcium or magnesium deficiency, he uses zeolite as a foliar spray. Good work, mate. Can you explain exactly what nanotechnology is, Huda? Yeah, I'm going to get into that soon. It's nanotechnology, to answer your question. It's very fine nanoparticles that interact and do their chemical thing. It's very new because it's nano size. It goes milli, micro, nano, pico. That's its breakdown of how many zeros it is. So 3 zeros is milli, micros into 6, nanos into 9, and picos 12. So it goes into things that are of nano size. So, millimeters, times that by 11. I mean, it's really, really hard to imagine because my microscope goes down to 100 nanometers. My light field microscope, it's so yeah, I can't even see into that fields that they're talking about. But I'll get into that at the end of the foliar spray. I didn't finish the other things: uniform distribution, and there's my teacher. Advantages: so the rate's lower, uniform distribution, response is almost immediate. Disadvantages: you get leaf burn, nutrient demand is high when the plants are small. Yeah, well, you don't want to ever drop off. You want to mist it. So mist it, and then you can do it any time of the day. That shit where they say do it at friggin' can't do it lunchtime, whatever. If you just do it, mist it, and then don't have any runoff dropping off the leaves, it's fine. Go back in another half an hour or hours later, depends on what your humidity is, and do the same thing. Maximum yields may not be possible if spraying's delayed. There is a little residual effect from foliar sprays. Well, no, if you put big droplets on, there is. They put rings around it. You can see it. Put these marks, it scores marks in the leaves. And remember, this is talking about general agriculture, and I'm really concerned on just our topic. So that's why some of these notes are very broad. Application costs are high. That's only unless it's needed. They combine with pesticides. Bullshit. Don't use pesticides. We can in veg, I suppose, but try not to use biologicals, biopesticides. Oh yeah, cool. What's this? Strategies for alleviating micronutrient deficiencies. Oh, okay. So insufficient availability, reduced acquisition, limited soil content. Oh yeah, they were touched on before. Application of micro biofertilizers. It increases the availability. So it can actually, if you're not using the right chemical, the plant uptakes. Remember, it takes only, for instance, with nitrogen, it's in those two forms only. If you put it in any other form, the plant can't absorb it. It's like us, you're putting heaps of food behind a big glass cabinet and go, okay, eat. You go, well, I can't. I can see it, but I can't get to it. It's the same thing with the plants. It's not their form that they can actually get to. That's what that's saying. So microbes, if you're organic, you want the microbes to unlock the things that are immobilized all in the organic stuff. And that's how you get your good yields, or better, the same yields as the people do with synthetics. Increasing your acquisition and co-application with fertilizers. Lessons in biofertilizers from natural sources. I don't like reading. Co-applications. Let's just go to the next one. You can see look, there you go, it's recent too, 2022. So all this stuff's pretty good. Oh, yeah. So precision feeding, crop logging is a way to do that. It's pretty, not easy, but you just make up this chart. And then you on different dates, you'll go in, you've got to write heaps of stuff down. So on different dates, you'll write things down and note it. And then you'll end up with this bar graphs at the end. So to get there, it's a graphical representation. I just sort of said what it was. Oh no, it's graphical representation of the process of the crop containing a series of chemical and physical measurements. These measurements indicate in general condition the plant's health, and they suggest changes in management that can go through plant's health. I just added that. It's not plant's health because it doesn't tell you. It tells you the plant's nutritional requirements. That's what this whole thing's crop logging's for. It's nothing to do with health. Sorry. A crucial nutritional concentration approach is used. During the growing season, plant tissue can be sampled. Yes. Actually, there's a cool sample card I made up for that. Nitrogen. Yeah, that's how to do it anyway. So I'm not going to go into detail. But it's, if you really want to get on top of stuff, and it's good for organic growers because your synthetic people, you know what the plant needs, and it's written on the back, and you can see that what you're giving it. But for synthetic, you're going to get, for organic growers, you're going to get up and down spikes and stuff, and you want to know why you got your spikes. So this will help tell you those things. Long Rip Raymond, get it into you. That's it. Thoughts on hydrocultural soaps? Raptor Grow says, "G'day Raptor." They're awesome insecticidal soaps. Is hydrocultural soaps. They're potassium solids of potassium fats of fatty solids. Damn it. There's something to do with that. They're the fats of the potassium solids. They work really good. Really good. They penetrate. They break down like the shells and of soft insects. So they'll like dissolve them type thing. So they're really, really beneficial. But they also kill your bad bugs, your good bugs. But they're a healthy, like pyrethrum is a healthy alternative to using, that's a good biopesticide. So good on you, Raptor. Keep up that good work, mate. Now what was the next thing? I have to square up. I'm just going to square up and go back to here. Hello. Square up. Where is it? I'm going to see if there's anything left on that before I get into nanotechnology. Oh, there was one thing. Really? All right, I'll share screen again. Share screen. Sorry, I'm trying pretty hard. I love weed live. Hey, g'day, mate. How's it going? You have to check him out. He's got a show, guys. He tries to support the industry as well, which is very, very good. You're just ready to, I'm just about to get into nanotechnology. I love weed live. If you've got any questions, save them up because we're going to get right into it. So there's one thing right at the end here, which is going to lead into the nanotechnology. So it just shows, this chart shows how nanotechnology move up the food chain, plastics. So they're so small, they'll get ingested. Hang on. They go into the soil, they get uptaken, transfer from soil to lettuce, transfer from lettuce into insect larvae, and the insect larvae goes into the fish. And down here, it tests high in their liver specifically and intestines in the fish, and then it goes to us. So that's one way of, right, that's, I thought it was a bit more exciting than that. Sorry. How do I decide? Oh, right, that's precision feeding. I suppose I can do this. It's right here now, stuff it. I hope you don't mind. Would you ever spray foliar feed on the bottom of leaves? Asks Tudor. Most definitely, mate. Spray it on all the leaves. It'll all absorb it. There's the entries to the points to the plant cells are, we've got hydrothodes, there's stomata, which you've heard of. That's where it breathes through. Hydrothodes it also breathes through. There's lenticels, when they're not really in cannabis that I've found. And what's the other one? Oh no. Hydrothodes, lenticels. I haven't done this for a while, but yeah, there's a few openings that the plants can get their dermal tissue. It also gets absorbed through the dermal tissue there on the outsides. This is how you decide about fertilizers, what to give your plant. So the climate really depicts a lot of stuff. And then you want to use manure, your water, your residues that's already residue in the ground, and then the soil, which is what's already made up in the soil. And then once you've worked all that out, you've done that, then you can add your NPK if you have to. So I like that, how it just broke it down, how it shows the different things. And that's pretty cool, because that's really how it should be done. All right, I'm going to skip a fair bit of this because this goes into a lot of detail. Competition minerals. That's how your organic matter gets into your plants. So it comes. This is just a cycle, nutrient cycle. Actually, let's get into heavily detailed. Sorry, this is losses. This is the one. This shows its losses. So when you input your manure in, as an example, you're going to get ammonia loss, which is going to get volatilized off in ammonification cycle. And then you're also going to get leaching and runoff. When you store it, you apply it, and in the soil for your NPKs, for your P, your phosphorus, your potassium, and your ammonium. Then you're also going to get, after you apply it, your copper and zinc runoff, and then you're going to get later on leaching from your nitrate and your phosphorus. And then you're also going to get volatilization from your crop with dinitrogen and nitric oxides. So there's a little cycle of your losses losses during handling. Yeah, well, that's just how it breaks down a bit. This is getting into a bit more detail, I think, than what you like. Oh, cheers. I'll just read the thing. Choose Aussie bean, iron, and organic horticultural soap for thrips. And thought, oh mate, no Raptor. If you want horticultural soap for thrips, no, don't go with them. Go with hypoaspis. That's the name of the beneficial bug. You also want Montogenesis for the leaves, for the phyllosphere, and you want what's the real rad one? Oh, there's one that really helps me. I've made a video on this, on how to get rid of thrips, and 5 different techniques that I used, and I put it under the microscope and showed how quickly that they die. That's a video worth checking if you've got a thrip problem, because I use reverse osmosis water. There's a few different. I used liquid alcohol stuff. Used quite a few different techniques with that. Then I think I used insecticidal soap was one of them as well, Raptor. So you should check out that. But yeah, mate, go with beneficials. You're going to struggle. Thrips are a pain in the ass. Good luck. I can find out the actual names later if you hit me up. I'll get back to this. I'm just trying to read as I go. ISO, that's it. Thanks, Baker Perkins. Yes. How to improve your composition of your farmyard manure. Oh, no. Effects of organic manure on soil properties. So they're just going to, this is the benefits about, so if you go and use this synthetic stuff, you're going to deplete the soil, as you already sort of know, which is what farmers are doing. And that's why they stuffed up the whole planet. So by using organic inputs, you're going to improve the soil structure, water holding capacity, soil aeration, and losses. And also it increases the cation exchange. It's perfect. It retains nutrients. It's exactly what it wants. It's going to handle for the second season as well. Good soil health, retains good nutrients, which also allows the problems and the pathogens to be overcome. So they'll still be there. Good soil still has heaps of pathogens and viruses in it, but because the health of the soil is so high, it can combat that. That'll do. Nutrient deficiencies. No, I think I'm over that one. Then we get into the actual names of the fertilizers. I think that's it for that. Okay, now it's nanotechnology. I'll just read the things first. Rhizosphere, Raymond. Yes, well, it's got a question mark. Rhizosphere is the area next to the roots in the soil. That's named the rhizosphere. Okay, nanotechnology in agriculture. Should I got to find the slide. No, I've got to find this course. It's not slides. says heaps. So which one is it here? Bear with me. I'll put in actually, no, nanotechnology. I did put a link in. Dr. Nexus, week 1. All right. Is that all the slides there are? Okay. There's not many. All right. I'll put in the, before I share, I'll put the invite link in. Spinosad. Yes, Spinosad is what you want, Raptor. Get a, that fixes it. G'day, American one. Spinosad is the main thing that's going to fix you with thrips. It's just something you have to do. Yeah, otherwise they're going to really overpower things. They've got a very long life cycle, 20 to 40 days, and they can hang around. You'll find there's a few techniques you can do for the thrips. Oh, that'll nearly be another thing. It sounds like you're not even there yet to bring them out, but Spinosad, mate, get onto it and watch the video because I tell you the different dosage rates for getting rid of the thrips. They're hard little so-and-sos. Yeah, the American one. I put in the slide before about the algae thing we were talking about last week, just to clarify up about how they do breathe the same as plants, like you were saying, mate. G'day, Aussie Grow Show. I'm just going to show nanotechnology in agriculture now. Here we go. That's not it. This is it. So nanotechnology in agriculture. Where's a good introductory? Burning the residue. These are all my slides here. I'm just going to briefly describe my 12-week course on nanotechnology in agriculture. It was written in 2020, so it's quite recent with its information. Soil health, water resources, environment, and maximizing agriculture. Hydroponics. All right, well, I can't find a thing. There's different ways to synthesize nanotechnology. So first you've got to synthesize it onto something, and then that's the carrier. And then so it'll go through first the different types of carriers that you can have, and then it'll have the techniques to synthesize it, and then it'll have the things to what you're synthesizing onto the nanotechnology and the results. So I'm going to show some amazing results on how well it works. It is so cool. It's the new Npk fertilizer is this technology right here, and it's getting trialed in various vegetable crops, and it's showing really good results. I'm going to show you all the results, just giving you a breakdown, and it's for you to try as well. This is why I show you this stuff for try in our field. So you can seed soak, foliar spray, do other types of things I'm going to show you, and try and get the same results in organics. So you don't have to use NPKs. It's an NPK substitute, and it gives you a lot of crop resistance as well, pathogen resistance and bug and abiotic stress resistance. So you first want to synthesize it so they can get synthesized on different types of nano things. So they've got cages, crystals, belts, fibers, particles, nanotubes, nanowire, quantum dots, atoms wide, nanocomposites made up of different types of NPKs that they can composite into each other. So this is how it happens. So this is the thing that should have been at the start. So we've got the classification of them on how they go. Then we're going to go into the chemical nature and the synthesis of it. And then we're going to go into the characteristics of it and then what they actually use. I wonder why it's here. Oh, well, back to the cage. Oh, no, here we go. We're into the chemical nature now. So the organic side of it is for deep micelles, lipozymes, with some non-toxic nanocapsules, pesticides. Organic route is the metal-based stuff where they're going to put all different types of metals in as the chemical carrier, which I think they've done that for our COVID. They've put magnetic carriers in. So yeah, this is all. So you can think of how you got your COVID shots. This is how they did it. They synthesized it this way. They used to use a carrier, which was magnetic, and then they used metal to attach it to the virus particles onto it, and then they injected it to us or me. I don't know if you've had it. Just reading the chat. Sunshine. Oh, g'day, Sunshine. How's it going? So there's the inorganic route, and then the carbon-based route is carbon nanotubes, carbon nanofibers, black carbon, activated carbon. Cool. So that's how they briefly do it. Then you've got to get onto the processes of how they can bond it together. So is it mechanical presses? Is it done through heat? Is it done through electrical fields? And then this goes right into detail about the different types of technologies that they've used to do it with. So I'm not going to go into that. Chemical, there's two only ways to make these nanoparticles. So bottoms up or top down. So a bottoms up means you grow up from the bottom up. So you start with something very, very tiny and grow up and get it bigger and bigger and bigger. Top down is when you etch it off something or take it off something and take it from big right down to small. Biological methods are heavily used, so they're getting all types of bios to make things, fungus and bacteria. High energy ball milling, these are different ways to do it. I'm not going to go into them. Biological routes, righto, I'm going to skip all this shit. We're going to get into, I think I've given you in questions. Did I miss the Foliar bit, Sunshine? Yeah, mate, you missed heaps. It's 10. I started 30 minutes ago, sorry. I'm going to get skipped. I just had a look at the questions. There's none, so I'm just going to skip through all this stuff. Get into the bits where we want to talk about the plants and the soils and stuff, what they do, the different seed soaks, the different foliar sprays. I don't know the methods. Come on, where are you? Oh, is that it there? Here it is. So the uses in agriculture. So we can do it in the soil, through water bodies. It can be through the plant. It can get taken through the roots or through the shoots, through foliar spray, floral spray even. I don't advise that, but still here because they don't deal with cannabis like we do. And seed treatments. Seed treatments is massive. That's the one. This is some of my research notes, basically, guys. So you're getting a pretty cool insight, and you can do experiments, and this will be things that people will be talking about in a couple of years' time. So if you want to start to play around with this sort of stuff now, you can be involved in discussions in a few years' time and tell people about your notes. So I'm going to have to have some water. My bloody throat's hurt. This is a seed treatment. This is your soak it in a seed treatment. So this they found that improves germination percentages. It boosts the immune system. It improves fungicides and improves metabolic processes. So what's this one? This is the iron metal sulfide nanomaterials. This is the one I'm going to be talking about a lot. So this is iron pyrite. FeS2, iron pyrite. So what you do is this is so fucking rad. Where do I start? So to reduce, if you've got sodic soil, so if you've got soil that's a high pH in a pH ranging above 8 or even 10, oh, it says it next to it, 13 to 14, stupid high. Add FeS2, iron pyrite, across the top. It'll naturally react with water and create the chemical reaction, which releases the protons and it drops the pH for you. There's one way instantly to do it. You don't have to add anything else. Yeah, it's fool's gold. Pyrite application in sodic soil improves nitrogen availability to the crop in rice. They found that in 1978. Let's get on to it. Oh, whoops. What happened here? My chat's just dropped out. Oh, sorry. I'll get back into it again. Baker Perkins. I'll watch it later. Kelp. Yeah, all right, kelp. I'll get into kelp. That's really helpful. I use kelp lots, mate. It's great. I'll finish this nanotechnology. It's not close. It's pretty close to finishing. Then we're done for today. Then I'll get into a few questions if you got any. This is how it reacts. This is a bit more. That's pretty technical. That's how its reaction happens. Stoichiometric effects, which means that it can change between FeS2 or FeS3, the ferric or ferrous. Here we go. this is it. The chickpea. So this is the experiment and the results. So they soaked chickpea and spinach and rice in nanoparticles of iron pyrite. They found that this is the process to do it. So it's 12 hours you soak it, then it fortifies them. Then you sprout it. 7 days later, you got a higher percent in germination, higher root growth, higher shoot growth, and overall biomass is higher. Biomass meaning the amount of, if you weigh the dead material. And it's found also that it improves leaf size and chlorophyll size. And because it's acts with the, down here, which are seed treatment with iron pyrite, has high ability to harvest sunlight. There you go. I have to explain it. Here's a result from spinach seeds where they did the control and then the test. And they found the control and the test. There you go. We're going to get down to it. And the control, good, but the test had higher germination rates, higher leaf size, higher chlorophyll absorption rates, higher magnesium and sulfur and Ca calcium. So when they tested the tissues on each leaf, they found this. Catalyze. They're the three. That's the three oxidants that's really bad. You know, your antioxidants. This is the thing that you want to try and stop. These antioxidants, superoxide dismutase, that's the enzymes to stop superoxides. Peroxidase is to stop peroxides. Catalase is so this activates that, and it helps with preventing or not allowing it to germinate. So it's deactivates them by doing this treatment as well. So it's also something good that you can use for seed dormancy. I've talked enough. I want to get into the results. What's the next slide? Shit. Week 4. I'm kidding. I'm not going through all these. Good, this is the results. Then we're done. So here we go. So they went through and they've done these iron pyrite tests with carrots, fenugreek, mustard, alfalfa, sesame seeds, and a lot of things. And they found out that in the control versus the treatment, that the beetroot weighed 4.5 kilos on control on the iron pyrite treatment only, with no other NPKs. The control got fed NPKs throughout its cycle. So this is the versus. So it's weighed, look at that, 47.1% increase on its yield just from using iron pyrite. Down here through carrots, 19% yield increase. Fenugreek, mustard, 65% increase on yield. There you go. What's the amylase? Is it to do the iron pyrite? This is to do with seeds. So this is how it breaks seed dormancy. So the iron pyrite acts as an amylase. Amylase is an enzyme to break the starches down in the seed to produce the sugars and start the glycolysis. So by having iron pyrite, you're emulating this enzyme. So if you're only to add iron pyrite, gibberellic acid, and then a bit of ethylene gas, you've nearly emulated the whole pathways of germination for this seed. I'm telling you, it's too much. You should be happy with all these stuff I share. That'll do, I think. I think I'm nearly there. This is pretty cool. Yeah, did you know geoponics? I've never heard of that terminology. That's just to do with the earth. See, geoponics and hydroponics, growing in the earth, growing with water. Thought it was pretty interesting. Anyway, I'm just crapping on. That'll do. There's something cool about cerium oxide, and they go into another thing and how it helps too. But yeah, I think I've covered nanotechnology enough and bored you enough. All right. That's it for today. Kelp, Baker Perkins. Yes, kelp is extremely beneficial and has heaps of rad stuff in it. I use kelp as a foliar. It's got a lot of micronutrients in it. Kelp's, has that got cytokinins? I think it's got naturally occurring cytokinins in kelp too. There's two different types of kelp. There's the brown and the red. The brown's more deeper. The red's more up the surface. They got different properties in them. The brown's from the North Atlantic and the red's from Tasmania. Woo! Tasmania. There's a bit of kelp info. Mongrel Stoner, how you going, mate? Use of aloe vera in growing. Aloe vera is so beneficial. It puts out a gel that you can block off for culturing. So that's why they use, no, it's agar. Agar is different. But you can use it for sealing off the wounds in plants. It's a really good sealant, and it has its micronutrients in it that are very beneficial. I love aloe vera. So yeah, it's really good, Baker Perkins. Hooters 420, can you give examples of experiments that you would like to conduct in nanotechnology, experiments you'd like us to conduct? Yes, seed soaks with iron pyrite. Get some iron pyrite and do little tests of seed soaks, but you're going to have to use like a ppm or some sort of measuring way to do it so that you can log it. Never boring, CC. Thanks, Jeff. So that's something, Hooter, that would help. That's right, I should be putting these things on the screen. Thanks for sharing the info. Can never stop learning. Good on you, American one. Do some plants have an to talking up silica and therefore brittle and snap easy? Do some plants have an something to talk up aversion to taking up silica? To some plants, well, you've got to make silica available. So remember on the NPK chart, I'll pull up that. Actually, silica's not on the NPK chart. Let's have a look, see if it is. I'm going to try and find it quickly. NPK. I'll go to that's pathology. This one. NPK. Good, found it. Now share screen with you guys. Okay, share screen. Entire screen will do. This one. Oh, and you can't even see. It's a bad example. Yeah, molybdenum, copper and zinc. Iron, yeah, silicon's not there. So you want to make it available. So I don't know. What was the question again? I'll stop sharing shit, sorry. Do some plants have an invasion of taking up silica or they're brittle and snap easy? Calcium's to do with the cell walls as well. So it might be calcium. And calcium's immobile, so you'll see it deficient in the new shoots. It'll be twisted and light green. Yeah, sorry, that's all I can help with that one, mate. I'm not really sure. High version means they don't want to take it up, he says. Yeah, I'm really poor at English, as usually I've just learnt. Good on you for that question. Raptor, agar is from a red algae, I believe. Oh, yeah, well done, Raptor. Iron pyrite, where to get it? Baker Perkins says. If you go to Amazon or eBay, one of those things, and put it in there, they have powder, because that's where I found it, and I was going to do it. It's probably pretty hard to break it down, because I've got Phil's Golds, and I thought I'll just crush some of mine up, but it was a bit hard. Yeah. So I'm not sure, that's about the best place I'd suggest. Is there... but they aren't strong, so must be. So is there? It's there. But, okay. It could be in the genetics too. There could be something if you've got it in other varieties where you're getting the same thing with other varieties. It's definitely to do with the implementation. Maybe it's you said it's there, but it's not getting into it because it snaps. Is it a water thing as well? Or the cell walls? made of, well, they're made of three things: your cellulose, hemicellulose, and lignin. And the calcium helps with strengthening that up, like you said, with the silica. Sorry, that's all I can help. Huda, slight last question. Silica is one of the most abundant compounds nutrients, but usually it's tied up with other compounds, so you need to make it available, but not sure how. Oh, okay. Diatomaceous earth is good for silica. I use langbonite. It's got 20% silica in it, and you're right, you have to unlock it. So it's, microbes. Microbes to go. Bud link for silica. Okay, not sure what that is. It's soil list, no, it lists soil remediations as one of the commercial uses. Oh, soil remediation. Ah, yeah, for silica. Okay. Organic matter's rad for soil remediation. That's what I'm saying. In this scenario, it would be a genetic issue. Possibly, yes. If you're seeing it only in one variety and not in other varieties, I would definitely say it's genetics. And it helps nutrient uptake. Very good, Baker Perkins. All right, that looks like it's it for today. I've been through everything. Thank you for listening to me. And if there's no more questions, I think we're going to end it. So I'll just give you a little bit. Critter says serum. Cerium oxide, CEO2 and CEO3. It's spelled with C for CC, cerium. And it's a redox coupler, which it's one of the only things in human life that can actually exist forever. And it switches between CO2 and CO3. And it's just amazing. If you just add these different chemical equations, it goes from CO2 back to CO3, back to CO2, CO3. And it's a spin out. It's really, really cool. So yeah, strange. Cerium oxide is used for diamond and jewel polishing also. Oh, wow, okay. Know the iron pyrite as remediating soil. Yeah, yes. That is amazing. But remember, it's only remediating sodic soils. It doesn't do acidic soils. So it'll do is it drops the pH. So if you've got something very high in pH outside and you want to drop it fast, you can add iron pyrite and that'll react with the water to bring it right down fast. Can you go into salicylic acid and how it affects systemic acquired resistance? That's a pretty big topic. I can, how it affects systemic acquired resistance. All right, salicylic acid is one of the plant hormones. There's it's not your basic hormones. There's 4 other ones, which is your salicylic, jasmonic acid, your brasinosteroids, and your strigolactones. And it's in one of those categories. And salicylic acid is more so methyl, so how it reacts with the systemic acquired resistance. It goes methyl, and the plant produces it, so it'll produce a salicylic, and then it'll produce it into methyl, which means it volatiles it, so it can go into the air. And then through allelopathy, it'll transmit it to the other plants, and those receptors pick it up. They rechange it back into salicylic acid, and then they have that reaction. And the reaction is its signaling cascade pathway is to do with stresses, and that's the only times mainly that it's put out, and it tells the plant to activate its immune system. Or if you put installed prime genes, it'll activate its PR genes, its pathogenic resistant genes, very fast. That's a brief description on salicylic acid. It's very important, and I use it in breeding. Good question, Huda420. All right, I think we're done for today. For this week, I'll see you back next week. What was next week? Can I give you a sneak peek? I was making slides already for next week because I wanted to just have today's on nanotechnology. So I can give you a bit of a sneak peek, why not? Oh, that's right. Next week's on yoga, free yoga class. That's cool as. Yeah, that's right. It's on a free yoga class to do with endocannabinoid system. They're teaching yoga with the ECS, so you can bring both of them into relation. It's from a professor of no, he's not a professor. He's a doctor of cannabis, and he's a nice fella, and he's going to relate both of them together. So that's next week's. A few questions for on the exit. It is easy. Is it easy to get too much Is it easy to get too much salicylic acid? Yeah, you can really overdo it. It's very shit. Well, it's a stress thing. So if you go and put on too much, it's going to stress the shit out of the plant. I've never put excessive amounts on it, and I wouldn't really like to, because it's just going to tell the plant, holy shit, open up all those receptors and probably wilt and carry on, go into different pathways, initiating you don't want. New growth from underneath nodes causes. Elaborate, mate. New growth from underneath nodes. What does that mean? The new growth from underneath nodes? Well, the node in the plant is its little nodges where the petioles, the branches sort of start from, and they come out. So new growth from that. I've had it from some cultivars that have been had a dominant branching gene. What's the branching gene called? It's a BRC gene is the name of it. And we've got an overexpressing BRC gene in a cultivar. It will put out 2 and 3 branches from one node. Is that what you're referring to, mate? Normally comes from above. I think that's what you're talking about. You can use that as your advantage, because it's a similar thing you get from when you will clone a plant that's been in flower for a few weeks, and when it kicks back, it'll just throw all these nodes out. Crazy. I think that's kind of what it is. I want to ask a lot more questions, but it sounds like you want to go. The do today, Hooter, but it's always next week. We've been here for an hour, so yeah, save all those questions, mate, and write them down. And I'll be definitely happy for them for next week. Even if you've got too many questions, I can even just have a Q&A like there was a few weeks ago, when it was just a huge Q&A. Was it? I don't know, wherever it was. But yeah, I don't even mind doing that, because I'm here for you guys, really. I'm here just to spread the good cannabis word and try and help the government sway them so that they can make things more favourable for the community. And because most people who are on medical cannabis can't really afford it, and they're making it want it to charge top dollar. So this is a reason why I'm here, try and help that reform, try and be activists and spread the good word about doing it cleanly and medicinally. So yeah, it's good work. G'day, PTP. Nice time, mate. I'm just logging out, but thanks for saying g'day. All right, thanks for everybody showing up and asking some questions, and I hope you like nanotechnology. Keep everything real, and happy breeding, happy growing, and good health to you. Goodbye.